Johnny Depp's unbelievable speech stuns everyone at the Paris Festival. The actor opens his heart about the America and the Hollywood. Johnny Depp, one of the Hollywood's most enigmatic and the beloved figures, once again proved that why the world cannot take its eyes off from him. At the Paris Festival last night, the legendary actor delivered an unbelievable speech that left the audiences in the awe, an emotional and the brutally honest reflection on the fame, identity, Hollywood, and his complicated relationship with America. The evening made the collaborating and celebrate the artist's freedom, and the global cinema turned into an unforgettable moment when Depp took the stage. His words, raw, poetic, and laced with the pain and gratitude, drew the thunders, applauses, and even the tears from some audiences members. The unexpected moments that silenced the room. The Paris Festival had already been buzzing with excitement due to the Depp's presence. Fans lined the red carpet shouting his name and holding posters from his classic films like The Pirates of the Caribbean, Edward Scissorhands, and Finding Neverland. But no one expected that what was about to unfold when he took to the microphone. As Johnny Depp stood under the bright lights, his demeanor was humble yet powerful. Dressed in his signature vintage jacket, hair tiled low, and the faint smile playing on his lips, he started the thanking the organizers and the city of the Paris. Then, with a deep breath, he began. I have lived 1,000 lives through the characters I have played, but the strangest role I ever had to play was being Johnny Depp in the Hollywood. That single line changed the entire atmosphere of the room. The audience leaned forward, sensing this was not going to be another rehearsed speech or polished Hollywood thank you note. A candid reflection on the America. Depp's voice trembled slightly as he spoke about his homeland. I was born in America, a place I love deeply. But sometimes love becomes complicated when you feel you have been misunderstood by the one you can care for the most. He described his love for the American culture, its people, and its spirit of the rebellion and the creativity. Yet he did not shy away from expressing the disappointment with his how his country and the Hollywood industry often treats artists when controversy strikes. America gave me the dreams, he continued, but it also taught me how quickly dreams can be taken away. The same hands that build you up and also push you off the edge. The audiences sat on the complete silence. Every word carried the weight of a man who had endured the storms, public scrutiny, court battles, lens of fame. Still, his tone was not a bitter, it was reflective, even forgiving. I always be proud to be American, he added softly, but I have found the peace far from its noise. Maybe sometimes you have to step outside your home to understand it better. Hollywood under the microscope then came to the part of his speech that truly make the headlines. Duff turned his focus into the Hollywood, the very world that made the global icon, but also one that nearly broke him. Hollywood is a strong place, he said with a wry grin. It sells the dreams, but sometimes it forgets that the dreamers are human. Dev spoke about how the industry can lift the artist to God the like this status only to tear them down to moments they show the vulnerability or make the mistakes. His words echoed his personal journey, years of being adored, then suddenly vilified and vilified during these legal disputes and the public trials. For a while, I stopped recognizing the person they wrote about, he admitted. It felt like a character that I could not audition for the villain in a story I did not write. He paused, his eyes glistening under the stage of the lights. Then, it in the softer tone, he added, but I forgive them because I have learned that the truth always finds its a way through the noise, and I am still here, not because of the Hollywoods, but in the spite of it. The room erupted in the applauses, even followed the celebrities in attendance, including the Stella McCartney, who was beside Depp's earlier in the night, were visibly moved. A place of healing and the freedom, the Paris. Depp went to the share by the Paris holds such a special place in his heart over the past few years. He has spent much of his time in the France away from the chaos of the Hollywood spotlight. Here I discovered that what art really means, he said. It's not about the power or the money or the fame, but it's about the feeling, about telling stories that comes from the soul, not from the studio boardrooms. He also spoke about how living in the Europe allowed him to breathe again, to paint, to write, to music, and to simply live without the judgment. He thanked the French audiences for welcoming him in the artist, not as the headline. Paris gave me the space to be human again. He smiled, and maybe that's the any artist ever really needs, and to be allowed to be the human. A message to the young artist before closing to this speech. Duff's turned directly to the young filmmakers, actors, and the dreamers sitting in the audiences. His tone shifted, still emotional, but now inspiring. Don't let the world tell you that who you are, he urged. They'll label you, they'll test you, they will try to redefine you by your mistakes, but remember that the only real mistakes is that you only being yourself. He continued, his voice steady and filled with the conviction. If you create for the applauses, you'll always be empty, but if you create because of you have something to say, you'll never be forgotten. Those words drew a standing ovation. Many in the audiences later said that it was one of the most powerful festival speeches that had ever witnessed. The man behind the legend. After the speech, Johnny Depp stayed behind for the few moments, shaking hands and hugging the friends. Cameras flashed, but his smile was calm and genuine. It was the smile of a man who had finally made his place and peace with his past and reclaimed his voice. Critics and the fans flooded social media with the praise. Hashtags like hashtag Johnny Depp speech and hashtag Festival Paris 2025 quickly trended worldwide. Fans described the speech as the soulful, historic, and the reminder of the who Johnny really is. One moment summed it up perfectly that Johnny Depp did not just speak about tonight, he healed it. A new chapter begins at that night ended. The world witnessed not just as an actor, but as a survivor, a poet, and a man reborn. Johnny Depp's unbelievable speech at the Paris Festival was not just about the Hollywood gossips or the fame, but it was about the truth, the resilience, and the power of the art that to rebuild a broken soul. I'm not running away from the America or the Hollywood, he said in his final words. I'm just walking away on my path, and that if the path leads to back home, and one day I'll walk it with the gratitude, not the regret. The audience rose again, clapping for the several minutes, and the moment under the Paris lights, Johnny Depp did not just reclaim his career, he reclaimed his humanity. So guys, if you found this video as informative and interesting, then you have to subscribe the channel. And I wish you best of luck. You should take care of yourself.